Come, sit closer. Let me tell you the story of my OneWheel XR. It all begins June 22nd, 2020, when I first get my hands on it. And then, after a little bit of practicing and learning how to ride it, I film this. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Marvin here, and today I wanted to show you something I just got my hands on. It's this, a OneWheel XR. Now I got this thing used off Craigslist for $1,000, and it came with the OneWheel itself, an extra set of bumpers, an extra fender, 2 stands, and the charger. And that's about all you need to get started. And so today we're going to take this thing apart. Well, I've already done most of it, but we're going to take this, clean it, do a bit of a rebuild, and then we'll move on to an actual review of the OneWheel XR. Now, unfortunately, I never actually got around to creating that review. However, I did document some of the things I did to upgrade and improve my OneWheel XR. So now I've gone over both the plates here with the kind of like sponge sandpaper thing here. And now the bottom and the side are now nice and smooth. There's no splinters or anything sticking out. There are a couple small pieces that are missing, but that's fine. So basically, now that everything's pretty smooth, what we're going to do is we're going to use painter's tape, seal off the grip tape, and then basically paint over the wood here with basically kind of a finisher here just to give it some protection, both from moisture and just from scratches so it doesn't like splinter as easily and stuff like that. Now, while I got the board with only 130 miles on it, it did have some wear and tear. And so after clear coating and sanding the foot pads and making sure those look nice and clean, they honestly came out looking brand new. And then what we did with the bumpers was another interesting mod. And also this is the perfect opportunity to show off the kind of DIY skid plate mods that we've done here. So when I got this OneWheel used with about 130 miles on it, this bumper already had a crack on it. It had some decent scratching from the previous person who owned it. And so I did get an extra set of bumpers along with this OneWheel, a new set. But instead of installing them right away and scuffing them up, I thought I'd just try to run these for as long as possible, so that way I'd scratch up the already scuffed up ones while I was learning. And we thought the best way to also extend the life of these, it was just a DIY mod, was to have these basically big round head bolts with washers. And put them through the plastic here, and then basically just use an angle grinder to shave off the top of the screw there. Because there is enough space, given this kind of like structure here, there's enough space in between this and the bottom of this to facilitate adding in these extra bumper mods. And what is nice is by putting these into the scuff bumper, we basically had low risk because we knew this bumper was going to be destroyed anyway. But it's high reward because, as you can see, the bumper itself hasn't taken really any further damage than what it's already had, thanks to these taking most of the damage. And these are like $4 to replace, so these are a very minimalistic alternative, although they do look a little bit DIY, that's for sure. So after putting that DIY bumper modification together and recoating the foot pads, I pretty much put the OneWheel back together and ran it stock in that configuration for the entire summer. And now I had a lot of good rides, I made some good friends along the way, and I even discovered one of my best friends had a OneWheel as well. And so we cruised together a lot, and I really used the OneWheel a ton to commute. I found myself using it more than my car even. And so after a summer of fun, the abuse started to show. So here we have my OneWheel XR, and after about 816 miles of cruising, you can see that the wheel tread is pretty much destroyed on one side. It's no longer holding air. And the kind of like plastic side tape that we put over the rails to protect them has also gotten kind of worn down, and especially starting to peel off on the handle side. Back here you can see. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to take it apart. We're going to clean the side rails, we're going to clean the fender, all of that. We're going to replace the pretty much leaky, destroyed Vega tire with a nice new treaded Burris tire. And then also we have some of these nice side rail protectors. These are highly reflective, and they have a nice blue color to them, so they'll be pretty great. And then we also have some fun stickers we can put on here. And so once we do that, this thing should be ready to cruise for a couple hundred more miles. And so it was time once again for a major disassembly and major upgrade of the OneWheel. But it would be no easy task. See the fender kind of throwing up crap onto the corner here. It has made this a little dirty. We'll clean that off and try to see if we can like flatten out the kind of grip tape that's been wrinkled up a little bit. But also in terms of the corners, that clear coating, especially since I clear coated it extra thick on the corners. The corners have stayed pretty nice. We'll clean this up, unplug this, take this off. Once we take that off, we can replace the wheel with the off-road tire. Once we've replaced it with the off-road tire, then we can start putting things back together again. We'll also take off this little rubbery clear plastic side rail protector that we put on there DIY and replace it with some actual nice ones. Also, these are highly reflective, which is great because you have lights front and back, but if you're riding at night, if you have the highly reflective side guards, you'll be able to see, people will be able to see you from the side as well much easier, so that'll be good for safety. Well, there we have it, the disassembled one wheel. Here we have the wheel itself with the motor unit, and then here we have the board, and here we have all the other disassembled parts. Time to clean everything up, swap out the wheel, and then put it all back together. Alrighty, what we're doing now is breaking the bead of the tire. And that bead is strong AF. I'm gonna break something. Well, hopefully the bead of the tire, but dang, it is not coming out of there. It is. This thing is seated well, man. We're gonna have to, like, bring out the heavy artillery. That we did. So, had some difficulty breaking the bead on this thing to get the tire off. I broke my lever before I broke the bead, so I'm gonna go get a 2x4 instead of a 2x2 for this. Alright, popping the bead, attempt number whatever. We've got another board.
It's like
we're gonna
5.
stomp on it.
Oh
black belt karate master Marvin checking in. Look at that clean break.
that is
Nice. Let me go find another 2x4. Alright, attempt number 3. So far the Vega tires won twice, but this time we have a 4x4. If this doesn't make it, honestly, we're gonna get the knife and just cut that Vega tire off, because goddamn. Ready? Put your whole weight on it.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is, we got it. Alright.
Oh, it got some sealant in there.
Yeah, there's seal in there. Alright, but now that that's off, we can finally actually do the tire. However, we were deceived. We thought we had gained victory over the Vega tire, but we would have to whip out the heavy artillery if we truly did wish to win. Yeah, the stupid Vega tire is just stuck on there, so we've given up trying to pull it off with the tire lever, and we're literally just gonna cut it because it is at the end of its life anyway. I will spare you from watching the Vega tire massacre, mainly in interest to preserve my own dignity. But eventually, after some use of bolt cutters, we got the Vega tire off. At long last, we finally got the frickin' Vega tire off, and that's only because we actually took some bolt cutters to this part of it, since it was already pretty much destroyed anyway, since this corner is completely worn down. Finally, we got the rim out. So this is just the motor hub of the one wheel. And now we gotta get this back on, get it to catch on the bead, and then we gotta put the sealant in this one, and then pump it up, and then we'll be able to mount this back on the one wheel. Fortunately, the Burris tire went on the rim without a problem. Alright, at long last, we got this frickin' tire on here, beaded, and now we're putting sealant in it. The board here, or well, the skeleton of the board here, has been pretty much cleaned and is ready to be assembled once again.
There you go.
And so now we're gonna finish sealing this tire, put the little thingy back in, pump it up to 18 PSI, put that on that, put the other stuff on that, put the side rail thingies on that are over here, and then we will finally be done with the epic upgrade. At long last, the upgrade is finally complete. So we have the side rails on there, the new ones. So those are both highly reflective and very sleek, and they'll keep my actual aluminum rails on the inside protected from scratches. And then we have, of course, we've added the one-stop board shop stickers. We've added the float life sticker here, you know, for the street cred. We cleaned up some of the bumper stuff, added some more glue to where it had cracks. The off-road tire is on there. I'm going to keep the fender on there like it really saves your legs from all that dirt, and of course it's good sticker real estate. Got the Burris tire on the side there. I think we're ready to go take this thing for a spin. It honestly looks like a brand new one wheel now. Also, it's all clean. We cleaned out all the internals. All the gunk and junk is out of there. Got a bunch of sealant in there. Tire pressure should be right. Let's take it for a ride. Alright, so we're ready to test out the board now that it's all upgraded. So I'm going to step on here and just see what happens. If it explodes, or if I die, that would be most unfortunate. Alright, it feels like a one wheel, so we're good. We didn't break it too much. It still rolls. Immediately after installing the Burris tire and taking it out for the initial test drive, I noticed a couple of very interesting things. First off, the handling was very similar to the Vega tire, although it did turn and carve a lot nicer. I think this is due to the edge of the tire being a little bit more uniform in curvature and not having as much of a distinct edge. Furthermore, the tire was very nice on road. It didn't have as much of a vibration or noise as I expected. I honestly didn't really hear anything when riding because the wind noise was louder. And in terms of the vibration, it honestly just feels like driving the Vega tire on like asphalt. Like it doesn't really impede on your driving at all. You just barely notice it a little bit. But when you take this tire onto off-road, your entire world just gets expanded. I mean, this tire just eats off-road for breakfast. I went over everything from rocks to loose dirt to dust to everything. I even went through some puddles, and this thing didn't slip sideways one bit. Where I had issues with the Vega tire slipping laterally on looser dust, this thing had absolutely no problem going up hills and absolutely just bashing through any terrain I could find. It's a good thing I bought the Silicon XR charging port cover because the amount of dust and puddles I went through was insane. It really was an amazing feeling to take something I've been riding on road for 700 miles and then take it off-road and absolutely bash new terrains, because it just opened up an entire new world of possibilities. Now, I could go on and on about all the cool things that have happened one-wheeling, or all the cool things that I can now do with the off-road tire, but I talk too much, and if you stuck with me this far, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed listening to what I've done to my one-wheel so far. As a reward for making it through all this, I'm going to put in some eye candy, some cool shots of off-roading, but that's pretty much it for this video, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next one, and till then, keep on one-wheeling.